The musician and writer Leonard Cohen is quoted as saying, "Act the way you'd like to be, and soon you'll be the way you act." This is a very good way to describe Jewish practice and the emphasis the Torah places on law to regulate our behavior. This week, we read Parshat Mishpatim, literally laws, related to the Hebrew word shofet, which means judge. According to the Rambam, a mishpat is a law that one can deduce through reason, as opposed to a chok, a law whose reason we cannot deduce. The laws in this week's Parsha, then, should seem reasonable to us. So I'll ask you this. Is it reasonable that if I see my enemy's donkey lying under a very heavy burden, that I would stop to help the animal? Is that reasonable? It depends on the purpose of the law. Secular law would not tell me that I must help my enemy's donkey. That is because secular law does not attempt to shape my moral character, but the Torah does. In this week's Parsha we read, Ki tir'eh chamor son'echa rovetz tachat masa'o v'chadalta me'ezov lo azov ta'azov imo. When you see the ass of your enemy lying under its burden and would refrain from raising it, you must nevertheless raise it with him. I am obligated to help my enemy's donkey. Is this reasonable? The Torah's answer is yes, because the laws in the Torah are not only meant to prevent me from hurting others, they are also meant to teach me how to help others, including animals. And my actions might have further consequences. The Midrash Tanchuma asks, what does it mean in Psalm 99, verse 4, when it says, Va'oz melech mishpat ahev, ata konanta misharim. Mighty ruler who loves justice, you established equity. What does this mean, you established equity? The Midrash continues. Rabbi Alexandri explained it as follows. Two mules are being led along a road by men who despise each other. Suddenly, one of the mules falls to the ground. As the one who is leading the second mule passes by, he sees the mule of the other man stretched out beneath his load, and he says to himself, is it not written in the law that when you see the ass of your enemy lying under its burden and would refrain from raising it, you must nevertheless raise it with him? What did he do? He turned back to help the other man reload his mule, and then accompanied him on the way. In fact, while working with him, he began to talk to the owner of the mule, saying, let us loosen it a little on this side, let us tighten it down on this side, until he reloaded the animal with him. It came to pass that they had made peace between themselves. The driver of the mule that had fallen said to himself, I cannot believe that he hates me. See how concerned he was when he saw that my mule and I were in distress. As a result, they went into the inn and ate and drank together. Finally, they became extremely attached to each other. Hence the psalm, Thou hast established equity. Thou hast executed justice and righteousness. The Torah commands us to have rachmanis, compassion, for any animal, including that of our enemy. The Midrash imagines the broader consequences of such behavior. Secular law does not obligate me to help someone else's animal. Our American secular laws are more concerned that we stay out of each other's way, which is also important. But the Torah's priority is not that I stay out of your way, but rather that I engage with you in a very specific way. I might not feel like doing it. I might prefer to just keep moving. But the Torah says, no, you cannot just continue on your way. You must respond to suffering when you see it. The Torah tells us how to act, and it is our actions that will, with God's help, shape our character. In other words, act the way you'd like to be, and soon you'll be the way you act. Shabbat Shalom.